Pamela K. Wiggins, one of United States' first lactation consultants, says breastfeeding is a mother's gift to herself, her baby, and the earth. A healthy lifestyle begins from the cradle, and it's a parent's responsibility to ensure that infants are properly fed, nourished, and taken care of. Welcome to this week's edition of Health and Wellbeing here on ASO TV channel 392. I am Lami Agbavobo. Our conversation is on this year's World Breastfeeding Week. Why is breastfeeding important? Who should speak about it? And what the effect is on the life of our infants? World Breastfeeding Week is held in the first week of August every year and is supported by WABA, WHO, UNICEF, civil society organizations, the Ministry of Health, and other partners. Breastfeeding is one of the most effective ways to ensure child health and survival. And yet, currently, fewer than half the population of infants under 6 months old is exclusively breastfed. In 2018, a World Health Assembly resolution endorsed World Breastfeeding Week as an important health promotion strategy, with a different theme each year, aimed at promoting an enabling environment that helps women to breastfeed, including support in the community and workplace, with adequate protections in government policies and laws, as well as sharing information on breastfeeding benefits and strategies. This year's theme is Breastfeeding for a Sustainable Start in Life, Strengthening What Works. This is Health and Wellbeing here on ASO TV channel 392. Please follow, subscribe, like, and share our YouTube page at ASO Radio and TV. Let's take a short break. When we come back, you'll get to meet my guests as we begin our conversation on breastfeeding. Stay with us.
Hi everyone, here are some practical tips on what you should do to avoid breast cancer.
Examine your breast on your birthday of each month. For instance, if you're born on the 12th of May, examine your breast every 12th of each month. Get familiar with the shape, the sizes, and the textures of your breast and nipple. Don't forget to check your armpits for lumps.
Reduce the intake of fried foods. The oils used to fry many fried foods release chemicals that can be harmful to your body.
Eat lots of vegetables. This contains the nutrients that your body needs to help fight off diseases.
Tooth and gum diseases have been linked to cancer, memory loss, heart diseases, dementia, and stroke. Make sure you brush at least twice a day, especially before you go to bed. If you can, floss regularly and have your teeth checked at least once every year.
Reduce your exposure to toxins by minimizing your use of hairsprays and deodorants containing aluminum and lead as much as possible.
Avoid smoking.
Exercise regularly, at least 3 times a week.
If you have babies, make sure you breastfeed exclusively for at least 6 months.
As women, you should avoid placing your smartphone in your breast pocket or inside your bra. Some believe that this would emit high levels of radiation which could lead to breast cancer and other forms of cancer. Secondly, you should avoid or limit your intake of highly processed foods, aka junk foods, as they contain toxins that are harmful to the body.
Welcome back. Today our conversation is on this year's World Breastfeeding Week, why it's important, who should speak about it, and the effect on the life of infants. I have with me to discuss this issue the State Nutrition Officer, FCT Primary Healthcare Board, Mrs. Chinyere Ekweme, to educate us on the benefits of breastfeeding and, most importantly, exclusive breastfeeding. Welcome, Ma. It's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Hello, viewers. Nice to be on this program.
Okay, so let's get right into the conversation. What is the significance of this year's World Breastfeeding Week, and why is this year's theme important, especially for the FCT Health Services and Environment Secretariat?
As you all know, FCT is a territory occupied by human beings. So it's our responsibility to take care of everyone who is in the territory. And under the leadership of the Mandate Secretary of Health Services and Environment Secretariat, Dr. Adedelakpo Fashewe, who is very passionate about delivering health services, optimal health service delivery. She's interested in the child, in the mother, in the father. So, and for that reason, she's also interested to ensure that every child, every pregnant mother, every lactating mother in the FCT benefits from this year's World Breastfeeding Week. Remember, the theme is breastfeeding for a sustainable start in life, strengthening what works. And what works, who will make it work? It is us that will make it work. So she's passionate about it, and there are plans on the way to ensure that this is commemorated in the FCT. And remember that the seat of government is domiciled in the FCT. So the Federal Ministry of Health also have activities. Normally, the FCT will step down for the Federal Ministry of Health activities to go through. Then we follow suit with ours, because it is still domiciled in the FCT. So we will not want it to be clashing. We want it, to make sure that the populace benefits from all the activities, all of it, yes, robustly.
So what are some of these programs?
Yeah, we're looking at sensitizing mothers, having a flag off, having documentaries where you call mothers who have done exclusive breastfeeding. They want to share the experiences, experience sharing. They wear the shoes, they know where it fits. So they would tell us how it is, how it was for them when they were doing it, and those of them who are doing it now, and for the pregnant mothers too. Because when I converse with them, I tell them, what gift do you have for your baby? That is the best gift any mom can have for the child.
Okay, and I think Pamela already stated it perfectly.
Exactly.
When we're beginning the program, it's the best gift for you and of course for your baby as well. How does breastfeeding contribute to a child's nutrition, especially during the first 1,000 days of that infant's life?
Wow, I used to call breast milk follow-come.
Yes, it is.
What I call it follow-come is that what is in the breast milk you can't find in any other food. The anti-infective factors. There are some things in the breast milk we can't find in any food. The immunoglobulin A, the type of protein in the breast milk. It's pre-digested, so the child, utilizes it as the child takes it. It is not too heavy for the child's system because the enzymes are too immature. The child's enzymes are too immature to digest things that are not breast milk. So it's like putting a bag of rice, 50 kg bag of rice on top of an infant. You know what that means? The child will go, yes, too much weight, so it's overload. So the breast milk God has designed it in such a way that it is just perfect for the child's enzyme at that age. The child can digest it, the child can utilize everything in it. It is perfect in every ramification. It has enough water. So the mother who is breastfeeding does not need to add water. You breastfeed the baby, if you share the breast milk into 10 parts, about 9 parts of it is water. So the child does not need, and the stomach size is small at birth. The stomach size is about 1.5, it's not even up to 1.5 teaspoon at birth. So you don't need to put any other thing except the yellowish milk called the colostrum. The first immunization for the child. It has a lot of, immune properties that makes the child thrive in those few days of life.
Okay. I think this takes us to why exclusive breastfeeding is important, especially in the first 6 months of an infant's life.
Yeah, very, very important, because it gives the child the opportunity to thrive. It gives the child the opportunity to reach the child's full potential. You want the child to become the president of Nigeria, the minister of the FCT, the head of ASO TV. You have to give that child the opportunity to thrive. And how do you do that? By giving the child breast milk. within 1 hour after birth, within 1 hour of birth, immediately baby comes, you put the baby to the breast. So the baby is exposed to the mother's antibodies. The baby is bonding with the mother. The baby's temperature is controlled by the mother's own. And the baby suckles, you put the baby to the breast within 1 hour of birth. The baby suckles and gets the yellowish milk, which is the first immunization the baby gets. That yellowish milk will also clean the baby's stomach. It will pass the feces, that sticky first fecal matter that is sticky. So that yellowish milk acts as a laxative to cleanse the baby's system. So that when the baby starts eating, the baby can utilize whatever he's suckling from the mother.
Okay, but there are times when you hear mothers say, my baby doesn't suck, or my baby doesn't like to suck breast.
Yes, that's why we encourage every pregnant mother to go for antenatal. During antenatal, these key messages are given. They tell you how to put the baby to the breast, how to hold the baby. When we talk about how to hold the baby, we are talking about positioning. When we are talking about how to put the baby to the breast, we are talking about attachment. So the mother, yes, you have told the mother the benefits of exclusive breastfeeding, but she needs to know how to do it. You can't tell her how to do it on the delivery couch, but you can tell her how to do it during antenatal sessions. And that's why we encourage them to go to the facility so they get this information. They make informed decisions, informed choices before the baby comes. Because during labor, she's in pain, contraction pain, so she won't listen to you. But during antenatal, she's calm, she listens, she takes the message home and utilizes the information.
Okay. So while we're speaking about breastfeeding, how does breastfeeding actually help to prevent malnutrition? You hear about stunting and, of course, wastes among children.
Yeah, because the breast milk is a complete package, complete meal for the child in the first 6 months of life. You don't need to give the baby any other thing. You don't need to give the baby infant formula or cereals like Grell, Pap. The breast milk, everything in the breast milk is just perfect for that first 6 months. So it's a complete meal. But by the time you start introducing other things, you start making the baby sick. The baby can come down with diarrhea. The baby can come down with what we call lactose intolerance. The baby's system is now digesting the sugar in the milk. The baby will come with diarrhea, come with rashes, all sorts of problems. So you now see the mother doing relay race from home to the hospital. But if it is breast milk, whatever the mother eats, that's what the baby eats. If mother eats vegetable soup, the feces will be green when the baby passes through. If he eats beans, the stew will be color of beans. Yes. So it is what the baby eats. Mother eats that the baby eats. And that's why we encourage them, stick to the breast milk. It is follow come, ready to use, warm, everything is perfect. You don't need any ceremony. Anytime, anywhere the baby wants it, you give it on demand.
Sharp prepared, that's what you call a fast meal.
Yeah.
The original fast food for babies. Okay, so it's important that mothers eat properly because your baby's nutrition is actually dependent on yours. So ensure that you don't go eating junk, you eat good food, proper balanced diet, so that your baby can also get the adequate nutrients that are important for his or her growth. What role does breastfeeding play in strengthening a child's immune system and development?
Wow. The breast milk has what we call immunoglobulin A. We call it anti-infective factors. You can only get it in the breast milk. They have growth factors. These are in the breast milk. You can't get it from any other food. The protein is perfect, the fat is perfect, the sugar is perfect, carbohydrate, everything is perfect in the breast milk. So because of that, the more the baby suckles, the more the baby gets this. It's not contaminated. It's from factory to the consumer. And who is the consumer? The baby. Where is the factory? The breast. So it goes straight, so no contamination. It is perfect, it's safe. And the beauty about it is that the baby can take it anytime, anywhere. The mother can be on transit, it can be in the church, it can be in the mosque, it can be in the market, it can be in the office. And that is why we are saying strengthen what works. We must provide crèches, safe breastfeeding spaces at workplaces, in the market space, in the church, in the mosque, in the offices, private sectors, banks, NNPC, everybody is a stakeholder, because we are talking about children, we're talking about infants, the future of tomorrow.
What's the relationship between breastfeeding and a child's brain development?
Wow, from birth, those things you impute there, it's like garbage in, garbage out. You're typing on a laptop or a computer, it is what you impute there. When you're printing, you print out. So we encourage the mothers to go on exclusive breastfeeding, practice exclusive breastfeeding. It is beneficial for the baby because it helps the baby's growth development, their psychomotor skills, the fine motor skills. A typical example is that when the baby comes, the lip muscles are weak, the facial muscles are weak, so the baby drools. And when we say drool, is the baby pouring saliva from his mouth or her mouth. And you see people saying because the mother took okra soup, okra during pregnancy, the mother took snails. No, that's not why. It is because the facial muscles are immature. What will make the facial muscles mature is the act of suckling on the breast. If you see a baby who is suckling where you see the baby sweating, that is big work for the baby. The facial muscles are getting toned, the lips are getting toned so that he or she can hold the lips together, close it together, not opening it like this for the saliva to drool. So breastfeeding helps them in their brain. A lot of things you don't see, the ones you see. It makes them walk faster. It makes them not fall ill. Even when mosquitoes bite them, because you're exposed to the chances of falling down is very small. When they go to the crèche, because they're exclusively breastfed, the chances of catching cold, common cold from the crèche is very low. Ear problem, otitis media. Children who are breastfed exclusively are less likely to have otitis media than children who are mixed fed or fed with breast milk substitutes.
Okay. So I think that captures what the benefit is, of course, for the child and the mother as well. What are some of the misconceptions around breastfeeding that actually causes anxiety amongst mothers?
So mothers will tell you, if I breastfeed, my breast will fall. Some say, my breast is very small. I can't produce milk. Some will say, my breast is too big. It will block the baby's nose. The truth is that what makes the breast size big or small is the adipose tissue, the fat tissues. Whether the breast is small or big, if you attach the baby properly, ensure that the baby's lip is holding onto the black part of the breast, and the nipple, the nipple is the tip of the breast, is resting on the tongue, and the baby is latching properly and putting pressure on the black part of the breast called the areola. The baby is attaching well. If the baby attaches well, the baby will suckle. And by the time the baby suckles, it puts pressure on the milk duct and the milk is expelled. So the baby putting pressure on the areola, the milk duct is under the areola, it's invisible. The milk is ejected. So the baby is good to go. So whether mother's breast is small or big, the mother can exclusively breastfeed the baby efficiently. Then, the issue I had explained about the okra and snails. That is not why the baby
Saliva
drools. Yes, that's not why the baby drools. Then another thing is the breast will fall. Whether you breastfeed or you don't breastfeed, the breast will give way to gravity. Unfortunately, science has and fashion has provided different types of bra to support the breast. If you want to push up, there are nursing mother bras. So different types of bras. So mothers are encouraged to breastfeed their baby. That is the best gift you can give to your child when the child arrives Mother Earth. Irrespective of your breastfeeding status, the breast will fall when it's time. But you can push it up with the bras because there are lots of them in the market. So mothers are encouraged to breastfeed their babies.
Okay, so we
And
have
go to the facility for clarification if there are confusing information. That's why we encourage them to use at the facilities. Services, counseling services in the health facilities are free. Public health facilities are free. And the FCTA, under the Health and Human Services, Health Services and Environment Secretariat, have been conducting series of capacity building for frontline health workers who interface with these pregnant women and interface with the lactating mothers. So they are equipped with counseling skills, knowledge and skills to give these mothers the right information for them to be able to make informed decisions.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Chinyere. We have been speaking about breastfeeding. Before we go on a break, what policies or interventions are needed in Nigeria to improve breastfeeding practices and, of course, enhance child nutrition?
Yeah, it has to be holistically approached, multi-sectorally. As you know, nutrition is a multi-sectoral. For you to get the best out of it, you have to approach it multi-sectorally, where agri, health, education, water resources, planning, everybody brings something to the table, working as a team, reaching the unreachable, the far to reach mothers, the mothers who belong to very difficult terrains at the community level. So we always have an interface with the World Development, because there's a structure already, there's a platform, the World Development Committees, the health facility committees. So we have interface with them, because at the end of the day, we want to reach every child. We want every child to be given the opportunity to survive. So everybody has to come to a round table and decide what can you give to the child, to the mother and the child at the community level. That's very, very critical, because when I talk about the community level, we're talking about people who are poor, people who are illiterate, who are ignorant. We also have illiterate people who are ignorant about breastfeeding information. We talk about people who you can't even access their communities. They are far to reach, hard to reach. Effort, intentional effort must be made to reach those people.
Okay, so intentional efforts are being made to reach the people who are in far to reach areas. When we say far to reach areas, there are communities that are not yet very developed, even here within the FCT, and people must go to them with these messages so that they also benefit from the system and give their children all the privileges that they deserve. We have been speaking with Mrs. Chinyere Ekweme. She's a nutrition officer, FCT Primary Healthcare Board, and we have been speaking about the importance of breastfeeding as we join the world to celebrate World Breastfeeding Day. Come 1st to 8th of August 2026. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, our conversation will continue. Do stay tuned.
Hi everyone, here are some practical tips on what you should do to avoid breast cancer.
Examine your breast on your birthday of each month. For instance, if you're born on the 12th of May, examine your breast every 12th of each month. Get familiar with the shape, the sizes, and the textures of your breast and nipple. Don't forget to check your armpits for lumps.
Reduce the intake of fried foods. The oils used to fry many fried foods release chemicals that can be harmful to your body.
Eat lots of vegetables. This contains the nutrients that your body needs to help fight off diseases.
Tooth and gum diseases have been linked to cancer, memory loss, heart diseases, dementia, and stroke. Make sure you brush at least twice a day, especially before you go to bed. If you can, floss regularly and have your teeth checked at least once every year.
Reduce your exposure to toxins by minimizing your use of hairsprays and deodorants containing aluminum and leads as much as possible.
Avoid smoking.
Exercise regularly, at least 3 times a week.
If you have babies, make sure you breastfeed exclusively for at least 6 months.
As women, you should avoid placing your smartphone in your breast pocket or inside your bra. Some believe that this would emit high levels of radiation which could lead to breast cancer and other forms of cancer. Secondly, you should avoid or limit your intake of highly processed foods, aka junk foods, as they contain toxins that are harmful to the body.
Welcome back from the break. We have been speaking with State Nutrition Officer, FCT Primary Healthcare Board, Mrs. Chinyere Ekweme, on the importance of breastfeeding as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to celebrate Breastfeeding Week. So as a mother, tell us, what challenges do you think mothers face in maintaining exclusive breastfeeding, and how can employers support them?
Okay. What I encourage mothers to do immediately they put the baby to birth is that they should start practicing expressing the breast milk and feeding the baby. They don't need to wait till they are about to resume work before they do that, because the baby will get used to suckling from the breast directly. Then you just wake up one day and start giving the baby cup and spoon. But if you start practicing it when maybe 1 week after delivery, the baby begins to get used to it. I can get this my food through cup and spoon. At times I can suckle on something that is warm. So there are 2 alternatives. The alternative is, if you're not going to work with the child, you express and live at home. And we also encourage employers to provide breastfeeding spaces. Some offices provide breastfeeding spaces where you can even go and express if you're not coming with your baby to work. If your breast is full, you go pump and keep it. When you're going home, you take it. Some have scratches because you want the employee to put in his or her optimal attention, deliver on his or her assignment. If a mother knows that her baby is safe somewhere close by, that she can dash and check the baby, the mother will put in her best. She's calm, she will concentrate, she will deliver. But if she's worried about the safety of her baby, her attention is divided. And that's why we're encouraging employers to provide spaces, safe spaces for breastfeeding mothers, where they can keep their babies, where they can dash and go and breastfeed and go back to work.
Okay, we've spoken about employers now. So what's the role of fathers, family members, and communities in supporting the mother to achieve optimal breastfeeding?
Well, for the mother to have an optimal breastfeeding experience, everybody is a stakeholder. The grandmother, the father, the elder brother, elder sister, aunt, mother-in-law, father-in-law, everybody in the community. Why am I saying that? Most times when the baby arrives, the baby sleeps throughout the day. At night, the baby is awake. So the mother needs somebody who will help her cook, do omogo, if it's the Igbos, to help her cook, do chores, carry out chores at home. You see some women, they have put to bed, maybe 2 years, not even normal delivery. The mother-in-law comes and says, I want to eat pounded yam. Don't use yam pounder, use the mortar. So how will she do it? But if the mother-in-law is informed, that's why we encourage them. We encourage what we call mama and papa class. Let them join them to the infant welfare clinic. Let them join them to antenatal classes. So that when these key messages are being passed, they are aware, they are well informed, they will support the system. Which system are we talking about? The system where the mother needs to get support to breastfeed her baby optimally. She's not exhausted because she's doing house chores. She's going to look for where to fetch firewood, to go and fetch water from the well or from the stream, going to the market, taking care of other kids who go to school. She should be able to rest. When she's calm, she produces more milk. She's happy, the baby is happy. She's not irritable when she's breastfeeding the baby.
Or taking care of the family as a whole.
Yes. So everybody is supposed to, help in one word. It's not enough to fill the house with food. If you fill the house with food, and the mother is not happy, the baby is not getting optimal breastfeeding experience, the mother is not having a good experience, it's not worth it. So the mothers and the fathers, we're also talking about, forming support groups, breastfeeding support groups where they share peer experiences, you learn from each other, you experience one negative experience and how you surmounted it. The new mothers will learn, the old mothers will learn, the mother-in-laws will also learn that what they practiced before now is different from what is obtainable now, because science is evolving, healthcare delivery is evolving, we have new practices, new knowledge that we need to key in into.
Wow. Times are changing indeed. So what advice will you give to mothers who believe they are not producing enough breast milk?
Okay, when the mother meets you and says she's not producing enough breast milk, there are things you need to look out for before whether you now want to categorize it. Is it perceived or is it real? Perceived is that she thinks she's not producing enough milk. But when you do a deep dive, you have counseled her, you ask questions, you want to assess the situation, you'll be able to find out whether she's actually not producing enough milk. If she changes diaper 2 or 3, 4 times a day, it means that diaper is full. She's producing enough milk. You want to find out from her too, how long does she last in one breast? Does she time the baby? Because before now we were taught to time the baby. But the new teaching now is allow the baby to suckle, empty that breast and pull his mouth out. You put the baby to the next breast. The baby suckles and sleeps off or goes to play. When he comes back, start from that place you stopped last. The reason is that the breast milk is like when you make pap. You sieve pap. The pap settles down and the water is up. So when the baby starts feeding for the first time, what the baby takes is water. And that is what quenches the thirst. That's why we say you don't need extra water for the baby. There's enough water in the breast milk. What comes last is the thick milk that has the fat, the minerals, micronutrients, minerals and vitamins, all the other protein, the fat. That is what keeps the baby from getting hungry all the time. But if the mother is doing touch and go, you put here, you remove, you put here, you remove, what the baby will be suckling is only water. The baby will always be crying and the mother will say, the baby, she's not producing enough milk. So if the mother breastfeeds the baby and from morning till night you only change one diaper, then the baby is not getting enough breast milk. You also want to find out, does she time the baby? Does she breastfeed on demand? We encourage them to breastfeed on demand because it's ready to use and follow come.
Okay, so at what stage should complementary foods be introduced and what types of food do we recommend?
So at 6 months, complementary food is supposed to be introduced. But the mistake mothers make is that they go make big cup of pap and give the baby. And they will say the baby did not take it. They will now also force feed the baby. The airway is different from the food way. So if you force feed the baby, the possibility of the food going into the airways and it choke the baby can die. We don't want to lose the baby. We don't want any baby adding to the number of infant mortality. We want the babies to make it, to cross the Rubicon of 5 years and reach their full potentials in life. Become a professor, a medical doctor, a lawyer, whichever field he or she chooses to dive into, let them excel there. Now, if the baby is 6 months, what we encourage mothers to do, make pap. You can make it you'll be taught in the facility. And that's why we encourage them. Keep going to the health centers, the PHCs, keep going to the general hospitals. The health workers, they are skilled, they are trained, they are knowledgeable. They'll give you the right information. You make the pap, thick pap, not watery pap. When we say thick pap, when you scoop the pap until the spoon, you shouldn't be pouring from the spoon. The mother scoops 3 tablespoons. What did I say? 3 tablespoons of that pap in another cup and feed that child 2 or 3 times a day. If that baby finishes this quantity, the baby is doing well. You remember during antenatal, pregnant women are given iron and folic acid. They don't like the smell. What do? Those supplements, they throw them away because they don't like the smell. So all his life, from birth to 6 months, he's been suckling breast milk. Something warm, something that makes him sweat, wriggles his hand, pinches the mother, pulls the mother's hair. You wake up one day, you give a drum of one thick lumpy thing. You have to give the child opportunity to learn. It's another new skill. The skill of swallowing something, another fine motor skill the baby is learning. Skill of swallowing something lumpy and thick. All his life he's been taking something fluidy, liquid. You wake up one day and you give him something thick. He will not accept it. You need to wear patience as a cloth. I used to tell mothers when the baby is 6 months, go and rent a flat of patience. So because you need to allow the baby to learn the new thing, the new taste. So you don't need to make a drum of pap. No, just small. Bit by bit, we keep increasing. And there are recommendations for different ages. But you start with 2 to 3 tablespoons of thick pap. And you continue to breastfeed. We did not say stop breastfeeding.
To what age?
2 years and beyond. Breastfeed from birth to 6 months exclusively. 6 months to 24 months, you give continue breastfeeding plus complementary food. So you can breastfeed for 2 years and beyond. The more, the merrier.
The more, the merrier. Okay. Before we let you go, Mrs. Chinyere Kweme, what message would you like to leave with mothers and, of course, caregivers as we commemorate World Breastfeeding Week this year?
Okay. Every mother, every father, every uncle, auntie, elder brother, elder sister, mother-in-law, father-in-law, every community member, every employer, every human being in the FCT and in Nigeria at large should encourage every mother to breastfeed their child. Even in special circumstances, even a mother who is HIV positive is allowed to breastfeed exclusively. There's a protocol, there's a guidance. The reason is that even after, when we started talking about HIV, they were saying, no, don't breastfeed the children. But research has shown that you're running away from childhood illnesses. You have just, hugged the childhood illness. More children are dying from childhood illnesses because they are not exclusively breastfed. So even a mother who is HIV positive is encouraged to exclusively breastfeed her child. So every child should be given the opportunity to survive and to reach their full potentials. And breastfeeding is the cradle of the child's life. That is the genesis. That is the beginning. That is the base of the survivalist strategy. Whatever plan you have for that child, that is the best gift every parent, every member of society should give a child who arrives Mother Earth. So every mother should be encouraged in all circumstances to breastfeed. Even when the mother has breast conditions, she can express the breast and the child will be fed with cup and spoon. Even in the developed climes, mothers who have children premature are encouraged to use breast milk, because the breast milk, the quality of the breast milk of a premature baby, the mother's milk for a premature is just perfect for that premature baby's system. So in all and all, the bottom line is exclusive breastfeeding. and we have to join hands together to push it. Let's not just stop after 7th of August. Let it be something that is continuous. Let's keep pushing until every child is given the opportunity to survive. And FCTA, under the Honorable Minister, Nyesom Wike, is in tandem with the national recommendations.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Chinyere Ekweme. You have spoken well, and I believe that every mother, every parent, every guardian, every caregiver, every member of the community who has listened to us today has gone home with a message, that is, support every breastfeeding mother around you to give the best to that infant that God has blessed us with, because breastfeeding is the best gift we can give to any child. And of course, we are living testimonies of that, because all of us breastfed. We sucked our mother's breast at one point or the other. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mrs. Chinyere. She is the Nutrition Officer, FCT Primary Healthcare Board, for coming on this program to enlighten us on the benefits and importance of breastfeeding. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we will be speaking with Mrs. Holina Adejo. She is a nursing mother, so do not touch that channel. Don't change it. Stay tuned.
Hi everyone, here are some practical tips on what you should do to avoid breast cancer.
Examine your breast on your birthday of each month. For instance, if you're born on the 12th of May, examine your breast every 12th of each month. Get familiar with the shape, the sizes, and the textures of your breast and nipple. Don't forget to check your armpits for lumps.
Reduce the intake of fried foods. The oils used to fry many fried foods release chemicals that can be harmful to your body.
Eat lots of vegetables. This contains the nutrients that your body needs to help fight off diseases.
Tooth and gum diseases have been linked to cancer, memory loss, heart diseases, dementia, and stroke. Make sure you brush at least twice a day, especially before you go to bed. If you can, floss regularly and have your teeth checked at least once every year.
Reduce your exposure to toxins by minimizing your use of hairsprays and deodorants containing aluminum and leads as much as possible.
Avoid smoking.
Exercise regularly, at least 3 times a week.
If you have babies, make sure you breastfeed exclusively for at least 6 months.
As women, you should avoid placing your smartphone in your breast pocket or inside your bra. Some believe that this would emit high levels of radiation, which could lead to breast cancer and other forms of cancer. Secondly, you should avoid or limit your intake of highly processed foods, aka junk foods, as they contain toxins that are harmful to the body.
Welcome back from the break. Thank you for staying tuned. Before we went on the break, we were speaking with Mrs. Chinyere Ekweme, the Nutrition Officer of FCT Primary Healthcare Board, on the importance of breastfeeding. Of course, this is ahead of the World Breastfeeding Day for this year, 2026. And right here in the studio with me is Mrs. Holina Adejo. She is a breastfeeding mother. She will be sharing her experience with us, and of course, her take home from Mrs. Chinyere's advice and the information that she shared with us. So let's go right into the conversation. Welcome, Mrs. Adejo.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I saw you smiling. You were really giggling, enjoying yourself as Mrs. Chinyere was speaking about what we need to do as mothers to ensure that we give our children the best. I know you have an infant, so what's the experience like?
Yes, thank you for having me once again. I'll tell you that breastfeeding, breast milk, is one of the best gifts, nature's gifts, to both the child, to the mother, and to the family. To the child, yes, it has all the nutrients that the child needs. You've had a professional discuss how beneficial breast milk is to the baby, both nutrient, the vitamins, whatever the baby needs, it's there already. That's the benefit to the child. To the mother,
Like for me, most times when I breastfeed, it helped me watch what I eat, watch my weight, keep me in check of what I put into the mouth, because I know what I put into the mouth automatically goes down to the child.
And to the father, the benefit is that, you know, with the economic situation that is biting hard on every family, you know what it would take buying infant formula, which goes for about 10 to 11,000 naira. So consider buying, when you think of buying formula every week, that 10,000 naira, at least if you put it to the mother's feeding program, it will be
More
more beneficial to all of them.
Okay, so that's to say breastfeeding is less cost effective.
Yeah.
Or more cost effective.
Cost effective.
Okay. Breastfeeding is cost effective because it is follow come. Let me use Mrs. Ekweme's term. It is follow come.
Yes.
Warm and ready to use. You don't need any microwave or gas burner to, of course, breastfeed your baby.
Although some might say it's stressful, you know, if you are a very busy type, it is very, very stressful. But as time goes on, you get used to it. As time goes on, you get used to it. That is just.
I'm looking at you and I'm wondering how stressful breastfeeding can
especially
be.
the night feeding.
Well, waking up.
Sometimes when you are deep, when you are deep with sleep, the baby wants to eat.
Okay.
2 or 3 times you have to wake up to feed. And someone like me, sometimes when I wake up, falling back to sleep is a very difficult situation for me.
Okay, I think that's where support comes to play, because if there are people there to support you, your grandmother is there or your mother is there, your sister, your husband, or anybody, your younger brother or your elder brother is there to support and assist in the process, it shouldn't actually be stressful as it were, because I remember attending antenatal and they will tell you when your child goes to sleep, that is your time to rest sleep as well. And I believe that is still being practiced as at now. So mothers out there, remember to take a rest. Your body needs that rest, because when you rest properly and you eat properly, your child gets the nutrients that they deserve. Okay, we're still speaking with Mrs. Adejo here in the studio with us, and she just shared with us her experience as a breastfeeding mother. And of course, she spoke to us about how cost-effective breastfeeding is. Are there any myths or misconceptions that you heard about before birth about breastfeeding?
Yes,
that you're clearing as you go and experience the process.
I won't be speaking from the point of a professional, but I will speak from the point of what
as a nursing mother
nature has provided.
Yes.
Some of the myths we have heard is that when you breastfeed, it sags the breast. I don't know if you talked about that
earlier. Mrs. Ekweme spoke about it.
Some will say, okay, I don't want to breastfeed, or I don't want to breastfeed for a very long time because my breast will sag. You see, what nature has given you with time and age, whether you like it or not, it will definitely sag. So why deny your child of that opportunity of enjoyment, nutrient, and God's gift to him, and then prefer your body type to your child's
health?
Yes. So whether you like it or not, as long as you are aging, whether you breastfeed or you don't breastfeed, your breast will sag. So these are some of the myths we have heard about breastfeeding, and I don't think some myths are not, they are just prediction. I think they are not factual.
Realities. Okay. Mrs. Ekweme said whether you breastfeed or you don't breastfeed, it will sag. But thank God for the people who produce bras and all the costumes that help us to pad and ensure that we are still looking young and elegant. Okay. At what stage do we introduce complementary food Okay, I'll share that question with you as well. Mrs. Ekwe may actually give us an insight.
Having attended antenatal and postnatal care after my delivery, we were advised that at 6 months you should introduce water and supplementary food, which was what I did. Considering the benefit I've derived from breastfeeding, all my children are exclusively breastfed, because that's one of the qualities I've taken care of to ensure that my children don't fall sick. When I started with my first child, I discovered it was very beneficial. I exclusively breastfed her, and to like 5 or so months, the 6th month, not exactly the 6th month, I introduced water, and I started introducing fruits and other nutrients to her. But when I saw that it was beneficial, I had to continue. And my present baby now, I exclusively breastfed her for 6 months. No water, nothing, and nothing happened to her. In fact, when we go out, sometimes they call her Orobo because of the way she looks. Yes, so breastfeeding is very beneficial. And at 6 months, from what we've heard from the hospital, from the antenatal, I started introducing like akamu she talked about, but I mixed the akamu with some other solid food, but like puree. And social media these days has really helped to improve our child cooking skills and nutrient. Like you see, sometimes they mix other fruits and oat, like the oat, egg, and carrots. You mix together, you blend, and then serve as
alternative food to them.
Alternative food. You introduce that immediately after the 6 months with the akamu. You complement it with the akamu and pap, like my akamu. The akamu I give to my child, I prepare it myself. I don't buy. I mix. My mom has advised me to put some little spices like cloves and small ginger. That's how I produce, and my baby likes it. In fact, akamu, she will drink akamu and will sleep while drinking akamu, and she likes it.
That is to say she's satisfied.
And I've also introduced other food like rice. I make sure I cook the rice to rice and stew, jollof rice. I'll cook it to a very tender texture, and she likes it.
Okay, so that is Mrs. Adejo sharing her experience as a breastfeeding mother with us. And from all that she has said, I can say to you that breastfeeding exclusively works. Because when you see a child that is exclusively breastfed and a child that is not, you may not be able to tell the difference, but go to the hospital, you will know what the difference is. Because most times exclusively breastfed children do not have any issues that makes you run to the hospital in and out. Every breast milk that they take serves as medicine to their system, and that is why it is important that as parents, as mothers, you eat properly, you eat accurate and balanced diet, so that whatever it is that you give to that child is beneficial to their system and of course to their health, for the betterment of our community. So on this note, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Holina Adejo, for being our guest on this edition of Health and Well-Being. We look forward to having you some other time.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Have a lovely day. Thank you to you all, our dear viewers, for joining us on today's edition of the program. Here on ASO TV channel 392. Join us again next week for another enlightening edition of the program. I remain Lami Agbavobo. Please remember to follow us, subscribe, like, and share our YouTube page. It is at ASO Radio and TV. Thank you, and remember to stay healthy for us and for your loved ones.